Hey everyone, welcome back, and thanks for joining me here again. And just want to do some muscular drawing, and I think this leg was actually kind of cool. Obviously, it's kind of sexy, but it's also a little bit brushed up, which is actually I don't like because now we're missing some of the details. Okay, so let's have a little fun with this and just kind of keep things loose, hopefully, and hopefully get a nice looking leg going. All right, so let's divide it up in sections so we make sure everything fits in camera. Okay, so here's the buttocks. Here's the thigh. So I'm just really roughing out these structures here. Here's the knee in this kind of direction here. Okay, yes, that's the knee, and then okay, I'm going to move the paper up. Calves coming down. So here's that whatever muscle you call it, the calf muscle on the back. Okay, so just coming down here. It's got the straps and then the foot. Okay, we can skip this foot now because it's a little bit more complicated. Let's see. Okay, way off, but let's correct it now. So the other one on the back comes into here. So in terms of drawing muscles, what I like to do is when I see like a little bump, you can just draw like these little shapes like this. So you kind of know that it's round. It does kind of help. All right, let's just focus in this area right here. All right, so again, there's no bounce light, which is not as interesting. So let's start here. So right in the middle right here, this part is really dark. There's a little bit of bounce light there, but very little. Okay, so let's start on this leg. Okay, let's see the line here. Highlights right here. Outside slightly darker. Again, very loose. All right, let's just keep going. So this part is darker. This one is really dark right here. I can almost draw like a dark line on it because it's so dark. Okay, I might be rushing a little bit. I just kind of want to sketch something today. Okay, so the highlight's right here. I'm trying to keep that. There's another highlight coming down here, and this is going to be a lot thinner. And here's some more muscle right here. So this part is dark here. So in terms of shading, I'm just kind of doing things one directional right now. And I'll come back in and add in some cross hatching to even things out. So let's get this part a little bit darker here. So for this kind of shading, if you have an edge, what you can do is just kind of flick it. Let's kind of just push down harder and then just kind of flick it. So it tapers off here, but this one you get a slightly harder edge. And then once you've done that, you just come in this direction and then just kind of push into it, and that's going to give you a nice dark edge. Or you can do this first and then go out that way. Okay, either way. So you can do that, and then if you want a darker edge, just come in at a slightly different direction. That will really, give you some nice gradations. Okay, so I'm just doing this. So one of my hand is holding a phone, so normally it's not an ideal situation, but I think it's okay. And most of the time I can sketch with one hand. Okay, let's see. Let's concentrate a little bit more here. So here's the highlight. Very sharp here. A little bit more highlight here. Let's come down slightly. Okay, so all right, let's make this a little bit darker as well. So again, I'm doing this right a different direction, very light, and I just kind of go over it multiple times. until I get the desired value to it, darkness. Okay, so now this is coming out, starting to come into shape. Right now you can start feeling some of these shapes here. Down. Let's do right here. It's a little bit darker. And all along the edge is slightly darker too. So now I can just kind of come in. Just hit some lines like this and that'll help round it out. I've drawn here, so now my hand's all dirty when I rub over it. So probably not a good idea. Okay. Darker on the edge. Okay, let's concentrate a little bit more here. We can finish up this part a little bit more and then we can move on to the next. So darker here, and then this part again is really dark. Actually way too dark. But let's just go with it. Okay, so I'm doing this. And see these directional lines here, if you want to come in, just go in with a slight direction and that'll help kind of even things out a little bit. Let's push this in a little bit more. It's very strong. So now I'm doing these kind of circular shapes just to fill in the little gaps. Again, just more different ways of shading. Okay, let's push it up one more level here. And then we'll move on to another section. Because normally you see a lot of wrinkles, the skin, especially for someone that muscular. But it's been airbrushed out, so we can't see that. Okay, so let's come down. Highlight, let's see. This one is a little bit more complicated. There's more shapes to it. Here. Okay, you got highlight here, dark line here, this sinks in. So the highlight's gonna be, yeah. It helps to, find where the highlights is. Again, just if you can always just kind of circle it. And then once you have that, then it gets a little bit easier in finding, what the values are. And then I can give this one shade, and then this is gonna be dark. So it's almost like, you can treat the highlights as if they're just, line and features, so that once you mark those in, then you're able to, you know how to shade the rest. But without those markings, you're like, where am I? You kind of get lost sometimes. At least that's how I feel, and it helps me with the, the overall accuracy of the drawing when you do, adding those highlights. Because if your highlights are off, then obviously your drawings are off, right? So you can treat them as just regular things you see. Okay, so this one goes up slightly. There's a little bit of a dip here. Yeah, my pencil is really sharp. Really dull. I'm using a 10B, which really helps in this kind of muscular drawings. Allows you to shade faster. Okay, again, highlight here. Let's make the edge here a little bit darker. That'll help round out the shape a little bit more. Okay, so I think that's okay. Come in here and refine some of the areas. And there's a little bit of highlight here. I can take it out, bring it back. Just kind of dab it. You gotta have one of these kneaded erasers and just come in and dab. Okay, so that's one leg, and you know, you can come in here and add in more detail, you know, sharpen up my pencil and things like that, and that'll work. But let's continue with the other leg, because the other leg has a little bit of shadow, which is kind of interesting too. So this is round here, and here's the bump. Okay. So there is a little bit of bounce out here, but it's very, very tiny here. So let me make this part a little bit darker, because this needs to be slightly wider. We can exaggerate that, because as the light hits the leg here, it's gonna bounce back up here. That's why you have this little, you know, lighter rim here. Okay, so let's make this dark. Okay, let's draw in the shadow line here. Here's the shadow. Let's come down here. This fades out, comes down here. Here's the highlight, but it's not as bright. There's a bright highlight right here. This part sinks in. So again, I've drawn a line here and it's just kind of flick it up. And then this part is really dark. And then now we get into the things in the shadow. So this part right here, there's a little bit of curvature. I'm going to fade this out slightly first, this edge. And then now I can come in here and make this really dark. Really push into it. So just really go in for it. You know, just do that kind of stuff. You know, don't be afraid of it. You can always connect them. And those parts are actually kind of fun to draw sometimes, right? Because you know you can just kind of go in. Let's fade that out slightly. Again, it looks like it's airbrush. I mean, I say airbrush, I mean touch up. Kind of old school, that's what they used to do to touch up photos, right, with an airbrush. Okay, so this whole leg needs to be darker, because then that'll bring out this leg here. Okay, let's keep going down. Here's the knee. Gotta turn my pencil a little bit, just so I can get more of an edge, because it's so dull. Sometimes I can't see when I'm really hitting, because it's, you know, you don't know where the sharpest area is. So also with a blunt pencil, it's kind of nice, you know, because things won't be as tight. Because sometimes you really can't see, right? When you're sketching in, you're like, where's the edge? I'm not really sure. So you just kind of hit it and say, okay, that's where it is. Okay, very hot highlight here. I'm just gonna give this one a shade first, and then the edge. Okay, let's draw this part. This part's nice right here. This muscle is very cool. So I gotta shade this a little bit darker in order to bring this little bump up. A little bit of highlight there. This one's gonna go up. Just a little bit of line here. This area flans out. And then come back in here. Let's even make that darker. So the shadow here is important. It goes this way because of the bump. There's a bump here and it flans out. So that's why this shadow needs to be slightly round, as you see in the picture. So those are the little things, you know, you'll start to see. I mean, hopefully you see that once you start drawing, and You know, once you start shading, you gotta realize, oh, okay, yeah, that's a little shaped here. It's kind of cool, you know. It's like you don't see it at first, but it just kind of reveals itself as you're drawing. A little bit more shading here. Okay, now I'm thinking, should I go up or should I draw the foot? The foot's a little bit more complicated. We come up here. Let's draw a little bit more up here. I wish I didn't draw this. Now I can't put my hand over it. Okay, so let's just wrap this part up so that we can kind of hopefully anchor it, you know, with the buttocks. It's kind of fun, right? Drawing this kind of stuff. So here, let's see, highlight kind of goes like that. It's almost like a little snake. And then this is darker. Okay, I won't add too much stuff here then. This is all dark, obviously. This, yeah, I wish they would leave things, you know, without smoothing things out. It just really sucks. Okay, and then I think she's wearing something, but okay, we can just draw that. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit messy. All right, now that's interesting. There's a little bit highlight. Let's just bring that back. Okay, let's draw the foot. I think the foot is probably more interesting. It's kind of harder to see all the details, but let's just kind of rough it in. Okay, so here's the bone. It's a little bit arc. There's always an arc here. Very important. The heel comes down. The toes goes up that way. And she's wearing heels. I think the platform kind of hard to see. It's really dark on my phone right here. So I think it's something like that. Okay, but let's just draw the. Well, the strap is easy, so this is black, so I'm just gonna come right in. The shoe's black, but there is some shading to it. It's not completely black. I mean, here's the underneath. Okay, the heel. All right, let's start shading. Now there's some white parts here. Highlight here. This needs to be darker because this is a cylinder and it's getting tighter here. This part slightly darker up top. The highlight's gonna be all around here, and then here's the bottom. Then here's the strap. Okay, just draw that real quick. A little bit of highlight on the strap. I think it's actually lower. Okay. Yeah. And the photograph kind of cuts off right there. Okay, so let's see. So here is the highlight, and this part is completely white right here. There's a little bit of shading here because the foot is flat right here. This part's darker here. Too dark. Okay, so the highlight here, and it's kind of hard to see. Some skin here, stretching, folds. Back is dark here, dark up here. I'm seeing these little things. And then here's the strap. We can join the strap. Just a little bit of highlight, so just, you know, give it a little bit softer, you know, touch right there, and that'll really help to sell the lighting on the strap. Just a little bit, you know. Again, those are small details. highlight. Here's the bone. Another strap here, and okay, let's all right, let's make this shoe a little bit taller. That's probably the way it is. These kind of platform shoes. And then the toe, yeah, just slightly. There's right, yeah, it's kind of too small anyway. You guys probably can't even see it. Okay, so that's one leg. I think that's about it. I mean, I can go in here. This is pretty fun. If I sharpen up my pencils, I can add in, or I can just kind of go in there. I can use the edge right here. If I turn my pencil, or the very tip, you just kind of come in and you can add some lines, you know, these kind of little, to make it look like muscle strands, or just to even things out, you know. I kind of like to do that sometimes. Just come in and just finish out some details. Yeah, this is kind of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying, or if you're following, I hope you're really enjoying this, because you know, the musculature is just so complicated, but it's really a lot of fun. And when you start feeling the strength of the muscles, and you know, do your drawing and shading, it's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what else to do here. I mean, if I continue, I'll just sharpen this thing up. And you know, if you clean up some of these edges right here, you know, that can really help with the finished drawing. Or not, I just kind of messed it up. Maybe even make it a little bit more stylized. You can add in lines. Okay, so I think, yeah, my pencil is really blunt now, so that's great. That means I've done a lot of shading. Okay, so hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys next time.